Power to the Truth. This is Margo. This is Tuesday, November 6, 2018. It is Election Day here in the United States of America, and for the midterms. And so I know, tensions are running high. People are confused. There's a lot of chaos. You can kind of see the world descending into all kinds of crazy things going on. I have been researching and reporting on abrupt climate change, but I'm going to shift the focus today, and I'm going to be presenting some articles that I found concerning what's going to be developing here near Reno, Nevada, where I live. And I moved to, I'll just give you a little background. I moved to Reno in 2005, and it's a beautiful area. And, we've got the mountains, the Sierra Nevada mountains to the west. We've got the desert to the east. Lake Tahoe is not very far from here. Mount Rose is a beautiful mountain. It's 10,700 feet high. People ski up there a lot. I've hiked to the top. I know all the trails up there. And then we've got Pyramid Lake up to the northeast of Reno, and it's a power point. And I've camped out there a lot, and I know the whole area, and done a lot of road trips in the area, and it's a very special place to me, and I've experienced a lot of growth and a lot of spiritual growth here, and I've also met Jesus while I was here, and have changed my belief systems a lot, especially in the last few years. But anyway, be that as it may, I do believe I live in the heart of the beast. This is a report from the Frontline, and when I get through with these articles, I think you'll think that I live in the heart of the beast too. So I will be reporting on the developments here in the Reno area, and as time goes forward, as long as we're here. I don't know how long that's going to be. I hope it's not much longer, but you never know. And this has to do with the city that's going to be built east of Reno. It's actually east of Sparks, and Sparks and Reno are basically the same area. Sparks is, if people are not aware of it, Sparks is a city that's to the east of Reno, and you can't tell the difference. You just go from one city to the next, and it's all part of the metropolitan area. And this has to do with Blockchains LLC. And the first article I'm going to read is from one of the local news stations, and they've been reporting on this, and especially recently. And this article is from News 4, and it's on Thursday, November the 1st. And it's by Melissa Matheny at News 4 Fox 11 Digital Team. Blockchains LLC proposes smart city east of Reno. And I'll leave the link below on my YouTube channel so that you can go to these articles and read them for yourself and see. Reno, Nevada. The founder of Blockchains LLC revealed his plans for his plot of land at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center during a keynote speech in Prague on Thursday, November 1st. Founder Jeffrey Burns says he plans to build a smart city that is based on blockchain technology. This smart city would include houses, apartments, and condos, banks, markets, stores, and schools. And here's something that Blockchain's tweeted. All the speculation stops now. We are excited to announce that we are building the first smart city based on blockchain technology from the ground up, complete with schools, businesses, renewable energy, and homes. Then continuing with the article, blockchain allows the transfer of money, property, and goods directly without a third party involved, such as a notary or bank. Aaron Piscini with financial firm Deloitte told News 4 Fox 11 in February that blockchain is like the music sharing service Napster but without the music. Exchanging cryptocurrency like Bitcoin can be done with this technology without using a bank. A lot where the small city is expected to be built is more than 60,000 acres, roughly the size of Reno. News 4 Fox 11 reported in January that Blockchains LLC purchased the land at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. The New York Times reported today that it sold for $170 million in cash. Burns says this smart city would also include a 1,000-acre blockchain campus that focuses on the advancements of several different technologies, including artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and 3D printing. He also mentioned the partnership he's forged with NV Energy, saying that the relationship with their customers will change for good. There is no word when construction will begin for this large project. So that was from News 4 from November the 1st, and I've got some more articles. The next one is from the New York Times. It was also from November 1st. So anyway, when I heard about this, I got really concerned because, I believe this is the heart of the beast. And there's a gentleman named Anthony Patch. He's a Christian, and he has been doing a lot of research into CERN and also into the blockchains and cryptocurrencies and things like that. And he recently did a Blog Talk radio show, and I'll put a link below to that where he breaks down what's going on with Blockchains LLC, what he believes, and his analysis of it, and with the black magic and dark magic that's involved in creating this company. And he believes that it's going to be the headquarters for all the blockchain activity around the world. And it's going to be right here, right where I live, and they're going to be using 5G technology, also 6G when that comes in. And, that's just going to be on the heels. And I know that they have started releasing 5G in a lot of places around the world. They're already releasing 5G wireless here in Reno. I have felt the difference. I'm very sensitive energetically. I am very empathic and totally empathic with the energy of the earth. And I can feel a change and feel a shift and feel a difference when something happens. And so some days it's a little bit hard for me to function being so sensitive. But it's a gift and a curse all at the same time. And earlier this year, probably about in March, I felt a difference in the energy here, and especially when I drive into Reno. And my last trip into Reno was on Friday last week, and I got so kinked up and was in so much pain I could barely function. And I'm thinking it's from the 5G that's gone into effect, and they don't have it everywhere yet. It's mainly with the wireless technology, and as soon as I got home I started feeling better. But I was in so much pain in my neck and the back of my head. I couldn't turn my neck, and it was excruciating. And so there's stuff going on. And I also wanted to share, while I'm here, we turned the clocks back on Saturday night, and we went off of daylight savings time on Saturday night. And Sunday, I felt really good. I mean, I would almost say I had a great day in the way I felt on Sunday, and it was unusual. I felt so much better, and my vision was clearer. My eyesight was like really clear, and I just had lots of energy, and I wasn't depressed at all, and I felt good, and that's not normally how I feel. And normally I'm just like feeling kind of heavy and like this low-level anxiety, and just not well. But the blood test, the doctor's test, they can't find anything. They can't find a thing. And so anyway, I know it's from the energy. And then Sunday was really super good for me. And then Monday I woke up and I was back to my normal low-level feeling, low functioning. So I think maybe something happened on when they turn the clocks back, and they do that for a lot of different countries around the world. We go on daylight savings time in the spring and are on it all summer long, and then we go off of it like at the end of October, first part of November. So I'm thinking maybe during a 24-hour period of when everybody was moving their clocks, they might have stopped some of the beaming or something, and so that may be why I felt so much better. And now it's just I'm back to my normal feeling of low energy, and just kind of pushing myself to get anything done. So there's that. Just something to consider. So now I'm going to read you. Before I go there, I want to talk a little bit more about this Anthony Patch show that I listened to. If you go to Blog Talk Radio and look up Anthony Patch show, it's episode 3, and it's from October the 26th. And I recommend that you listen to it because he does break down the Blockchains LLC website and their trailer video announcing what they're going to be doing, and he analyzes it. And he also says, and I read in some more articles, that they're going to be partnering up with Google, Apple, Tesla, and I know NV Energy, and they're going to be using AI, 3D printing, and nanotechnology. And it's going to be a huge city, and the people who work there are going to be living there. It's all going to be smart appliances. It's a whole smart city. There's not going to be any money. There's not going to be any of the banks or anything like that, and it's all going to be built on blockchain technology. So I'm assuming everybody that lives there and works there will have to take the mark, will have to be chipped, and this is the beginning. And I'm thinking this is going to be a beta test, and they're going to see how this works, and then make improvements or tweak it, as they build more of these. But this is the plan to take over the world, and it's totally satanic, totally. And I just can't wait to leave. I can't wait to get out of here. This is not my world. So, anyway, the next article is from the New York Times. I may not read all of it, but I'll read as much as I can because they go into a lot of detail here. This is from November 1st, and it's entitled, "A Cryptocurrency Millionaire Wants to Build a Utopia in Nevada." A man spent millions on an enormous plot of land near Reno. Now he wants to build a community based on the blockchain technology introduced by Bitcoin. Oh, one other thing before I get started. This headquarters is right next door to the Tesla Gigafactory where they build batteries, and it's owned by Elon Musk. So they're right next door in the industrial park, so they're all going to be connected there. And this is from Story County, Nevada, and I'm thinking I may have to take a road trip out there soon, get some pictures, and then I can do another report, because I haven't been out there in a few years. An enormous plot of land in the Nevada desert, bigger than nearby Reno, has been the subject of local intrigue since a company with no history, Blockchains LLC, bought it for $170 million in cash this year. Now that's a lot of cash. That's a lot of cash. A man who owns the company, a lawyer and cryptocurrency millionaire named Jeffrey Burns, put on a helmet and climbed into a Polaris off-road vehicle last week to give a tour of the sprawling property and dispel a bit of the mystery. And just as an aside, last week I felt awful. Of course, it was Halloween on Wednesday, and for the 3 days building up to it, I could barely function. And I'm thinking it was because of all the black magic and satanic rituals and stuff going on. But as soon as Halloween was over, I felt fine. So I did a lot of praying against all of that. So anyway, here we go. He imagines a sort of experimental community spread over about 100 square miles where houses, schools, commercial districts, and production studios will be built. The centerpiece of this giant project will be the blockchain, a new kind of database that was introduced by Bitcoin. After his driver stopped the Polaris on a high desert plateau surrounded by blooming rabbit brush and a grazing herd of wild horses, Mr. Burns, who is 56, pointed to the highlights of his dream community. "You see that first range of mountains," he said, pointing south. "Those mountains are the border of our South Valley. That's where we're going to build the high-tech park, a research campus that would cover hundreds of acres. There are also plans for a college and an e-gaming arena." As strange, even fantastical as all this might sound, Mr. Burns' ambitions fit right into the idiosyncratic world of cryptocurrencies and blockchains. The blockchain began as a digital ledger on which all Bitcoin transactions are recorded. Some aficionados have grander plans. They think it could be a new way of taking power back from the institutions they believe are calling all the shots. Just as Bitcoin made it possible to transfer money without using a bank, blockchain believers like Mr. Burns, and he spells his name B-E-R-N-S rather than B-U-R-N-S. So I think that's an interesting correlation. Burn, like Burning Man, which they have out here every year. Burns think the technology will make it possible for ordinary people to control their data, the lifeblood of the digital economy, without relying on big companies or governments. There's a fuzzy line between these utopian visions and get-rich-quick schemes. Several cryptocurrency projects have been shut down by regulators. Apparent hucksters have been arrested, and a plan to transform Puerto Rico with cryptocurrencies has been criticized as nothing more than a bid to take advantage of the island's status as a tax haven. Mr. Burns was drawn to Nevada by its tax benefits, including the lack of income taxes, and the breadth of his ambitions certainly raises the risk of a boondoggle. But he is different from his crypto brethren in one big way. He is spending his own money. So far, he said he spent $300 million on the land, offices, planning, and a staff of 70 people, and buying 67,000 largely undeveloped acres is a bit of old-fashioned real estate risk-taking. Still, Mr. Burns says his ambition was not to be a real estate magnate or even to get rich or richer. He is promising to give away all decision-making power for the project and 90% of any dividends it generates to a corporate structure that will be held by residents, employees, and future investors. That structure, which he calls a distributed collaborative entity, is supposed to operate on a blockchain where everyone's ownership rights and voting powers will be recorded in a digital wallet. Mr. Burns acknowledged that all this is way beyond what blockchains have actually accomplished, but that hasn't discouraged him. I don't know why, he said. Something inside me tells me this is the answer, that if we can get enough people to trust the blockchain, we can begin to change all the systems we operate by. Mr. Burns has managed to win over local officials who are eager for economic development. Nevada's Governor Brian Sandoval read a proclamation that named the blockchain's property Innovation Park at an event last month where Mr. Burns sat on a panel with the governor and Elon Musk, the chief executive of Tesla. Tesla's Gigafactory in Nevada, which has been described as the largest building in the world, is surrounded by blockchain's land. Companies like Google, Apple, and Switch also have properties in the industrial park that is surrounded by Mr. Burns' holdings. This week, he announced a memorandum of understanding with one of the state's main power companies, NV Energy, to team up on projects that will run energy transactions through a blockchain. The Nevada county where this is all located, Story County, has only about 4,000 residents and was best known until recently for its history of silver mining and its modern brothels, including one owned by a county commissioner. That's where the Mustang Ranch is, too. So that's, and Reno is located in Washoe County, by the way, in case anybody wanted to know. It's right next door to Story County. Continuing, that same county commissioner, Lance Gilman, bought the land surrounding the brothel and turned it into the industrial park where Tesla and Google are now located. Blockchains has already received preliminary county support for a new town along the Truckee River with thousands of homes, a school, and a drone delivery system, and is working closely with the county on a broader master plan. I wonder if he's going to partner up with Amazon. But for now, Blockchains is empty land and a repurposed office building. Mr. Burns said the company won't begin construction on the broader property until late 2019 at the earliest, after putting together the master plan and getting it approved by the county. The office manager from Mr. Burns' old law office in Los Angeles, Joanna Rodriguez, moved with her 4 children and husband to Nevada. He has these crazy ideas, but I know that every time he sets his mind to something, he will get there, says Ms. Rodriguez, 29, who has worked with Mr. Burns for 8 years and is now the manager of the Blockchains office in Nevada. That's why I decided to move. Mr. Burns spent most of his professional life on class action lawsuits, many of them against financial companies. He learned about Bitcoin in 2012, but was won over by another cryptocurrency, Ethereum, which makes it possible to store more than just transaction data on a blockchain. Mr. Burns bought Ether, the digital token associated with Ethereum, in a big sale in 2015. Thanks to an astronomical increase in the price of Ether and some well-timed selling last year before it crashed, he became wealthy enough to fund his dream project. Ethereum is what he believes makes his community more than just a giant real estate project. To understand why requires more than a bit of imagination and faith. Every resident employee will have what amounts to an Ethereum address, which they will use to vote on local measures and store their personal data. Mr. Burns believes Ethereum will give people a way to control their identity and online data without any governments or companies involved. That is a widely shared view in the blockchain community, but there are significant questions about whether any of it can work. Anyway, I'm about out of time here. So I'm going to have to sign off. I'll have to continue this with a part 2. I'll try to do that tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you. If you haven't gotten right with God and Jesus, now's the time. I love you all. And until next time, my name is Margo, and I'm also doing holistic life coaching. My website is margoshealingcorner.com. Until next time, go in peace, God bless, and goodbye. I'll be reporting from the front lines.